air defenses smashing into a bus terminal north of Tel Aviv. The missile dug a deep crater in the upscale suburb of Herzliya and burned the area. In Iran, Israeli strikes are unrelenting. Israel says its jets have now full air superiority over Tehran and that it's destroyed a third of Iran's missile launchers. And Israel isn't just targeting the military. Iranian state TV was live on air, an anchor appearing defiant, when suddenly Israel bombed the building. Most Iranians only have access to state TV, so it was a warning to Iranians that Israel can strike when and where it chooses. The escalating conflict is putting the entire Middle East on edge. Imagine seeing this out of your plane window. This video appears to show what passengers saw from a commercial flight as Iranian missiles on their way to Israel streaked through the sky. It's little wonder why airspace across the region has either been closed or disrupted. In an interview with ABC, Prime Minister Netanyahu says the threat from Iran extends to the United States.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. That's what these people want.
In Israel, some Iranian missiles are causing casualties, including in this apartment building outside Tel Aviv on Monday.
My mother, and they said my father.
We followed Lucy Bukai up to her family's 10th floor apartment. It's trashed, windows shattered, no power. So what is it like for you to see your family house like this?
It's, I have no words. It's just, I feel it's a movie. It's a bad movie.
Her baby's bed is covered in glass. She does not want to come back.
How? How can you continue live here if such thing can happen?
Israel is also continuing its attacks against Iran's military leaders. Israel announcing this morning that it had killed Iran's newly appointed wartime chief of staff. Laura, back to you.
Richard, thank you.
With the Israel-Iran conflict escalating, President Trump arrived back in Washington overnight, abruptly leaving the G7 summit with world leaders in Canada one day early, saying it's to focus on the crisis in the Middle East, now in its fifth day. President Trump posting on Truth Social that his return to Washington has nothing to do with a ceasefire. Much bigger than that, he added. Stay tuned.
Ceasefire or giving up entirely.
Israel so far has yet to achieve its goal of destroying Iran's nuclear development program. And the president now faces a pivotal decision, whether to help the Israelis target Iran's enrichment facilities buried deep underground, which would thrust the U.S. into the fight, or keep pursuing a disarmament deal that the president has repeatedly said he wants.
I think Iran basically is at the negotiating table. They want to make a deal.
President Trump later posting Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, while adding, without further explanation, everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Asked about that message on Air Force One,
I want people to be safe.
the posts come as the president signed a joint agreement with other G7 world leaders calling for de-escalation between Iran and Israel. President Trump appearing to indicate Iran has reached out wanting to de-escalate without offering any specifics.
They'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
Overnight, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the president's position in support of a peace deal has not changed.
President Trump's made it clear it's on the table. The question is whether Iran will take it.
But the U.S. is also moving more military assets into the region, expediting the deployment of a second aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz, and other ships to the Middle East, according to two U.S. officials. And a bit more from the president's overnight comments aboard Air Force One. He sounded undecided about sending his vice president, J.D. Vance, and his top envoy, Steve Witkoff, to meet with the Iranians, saying it depends what happens in the days ahead. And he again repeated his warning to Iran, Craig and Laura, insisting if U.S. troops are targeted, the U.S. would come down very hard on the Iranians. Then the gloves are off, he said. Back to you.
All right. Our Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander for us there. Peter, thank you.